Tonight I'm making okonomiyaki. You can use almost any ingredient you want. I'm using Chinese cabbage instead of normal cabbage. I'm going to give this a go. Should be about the same. I've used even lettuce before. There's used many different kinds. I'm actually going to put some piman, which I forgot the English for. Kind of peppers. I'm going to cut those up. Might put a little bit of tomatoes. For my topping, I'm going to use some bacon. And then finally, I'll have the okonomiyaki sauce. And I'll use some of the mayonnaise on top. And I have some bonito flakes. Which actually I bought these for like 100 yen. Actually, all this was really good price. Talking about 100 yen, $2, $3, $4, $5. This nut. 6, 7, 8. So the main ingredients, this can cost you, well, in America, this might cost you about $7. This is okonomiyaki sauce is a little bit cheaper. However, one of these can do probably, I don't know, I guess 11, possibly 11 okonomiyakis. So you can make a lot. You can use this also for yakisoba as well. It has multiple uses. So does the mayonnaise. So those make up for in price. There is a special flour you'll use. This one is for okonomiyaki. It's right there. Okonomiyaki, you're going to use 100 grams, 120 cc's of water, about 120 milliliters. 1 egg, cabbage. Then it gives you, you can use squid. Actually, I do have squid, but I forgot to thought. You can use a bunch, cheese, mochi, there's all kinds of stuff you can use. See. But you don't have to use lettuce or the cabbage on there. I'm going to go for Chinese cabbage, so you can have your pick. This is cheaper. So, and I think I can use it for other things I make. And these are eggs. A lot of this is a local place. Same place, local. So you can get very good deals on local food. But anyways, I'm going to prepare this. And then I will show you what it will look like when we mix and how to cook it. But just for your reference again, and I will post this. So you will need a special okonomiyaki flour. If you do use regular flour, there is special seasoning within this flour, so it is a little different. It does have a bunch of different other seasonings within this flour. So you should look into this, or you can use regular flour, but you won't have the exact same taste. So yes, so 100 grams of flour, water, 120 cc's, an egg, cabbage, which you can do is between 150 and 200, and then whatever toppings you want. So I will show you how I prepare this after I've cut it up, and I'll show you how I just mix it and how I cook it in this giant pan. I think this pan is about I don't know, 26 inches around. So it's pretty good size. Just compare it to the eggs and everything. Okay, so I'm back again. Okay, so when you're preparing everything for your okonomiyaki, it is imperative that you chop it up finely. So I'm chopping up my Chinese cabbage right now. I cleaned off the little parts that were eating my bugs. So, chop it up finely. I prepared my tomatoes and my green peppers. You don't have to cut them up too fine if you don't want to spend much time. But they should be small enough to where whenever you mix the batter, it'll stay together somewhat. I have a mini scale that I like to use when measuring. I think I bought this for 200 yen. So I'm going to try and hit 150, or between 150 and 200 grams. So this also has ounces on it as well. So 150 grams is about 5.2 1 ounces, 2 ounces. So you can just see on here. You can also just go online and look up free converters. I'll try and put everything into ounces, grams, or whatever. But yes, and then I will show you when I'm about to mix it. Okay, so now I have the egg added, the flour, the water, and the Chinese cabbage. So now all I have to do is mix it up. It is thoroughly mixed up. You can mix it up with a spoon or some other kind of device. But you'll mix it up, and then we'll now heat up our pan. Now I'm going to show you the important step to adding whatever kind of meat you want to your okonomiyaki. Preferably it should be thin. I'm trying out this crazy bacon, which I don't even know if I have to cook or not, because it's Japanese. But I will show you how to put this on your okonomiyaki. Now the easiest way will be is to heat the pan up, and I'm just going to lay the bacon inside the pan first. So step 1, put the bacon, spread around the bottom of the pan. Next, you will take your okonomiyaki mix, which we've already finished, and you will lay that on top of the bacon itself. And it will cook while sitting there. On a medium heat is good. You don't want anything like too hot. If you have it on high, you're just going to burn the meat. You're going to burn the bottom of the okonomiyaki. You might cook it too fast. So you might want to do it on a mid-low heat. So on mine it's either a 4 or 5. If you cook it on 3, which I've tried around here, this is just too low. It takes forever to cook it. So medium heat is good. It's what you want to stick with. And then eventually I'll show you how to flip it. So I'm going to put the meat in, and I'll come back. After you start cooking it, you don't want to wait too long. This bacon's kind of crazy, so I think it's like ham anyway. Whatever. So I'm going to put this on. I'm going to pour it all over this. I'm going to spread it out evenly across the top. Okay, so here we are. I spreaded my okonomiyaki mix over the top. I like to round the edges in the pan. Oops. Let's see, make sure I have my camera on here. So we already have our topping on. Well, below. It'll be on top in a few minutes. We're just going to want to round it out. Around the sides will be good. That'll help us when it comes to like flipping and checking underneath. It doesn't take long to cook, so I recommend, you really don't need any kind of crazy timer. So, as it cooks, we will want to use this spatula to lift under to check our okonomiyaki. You can also use your spatula just to round out the edges. But you're basically cooking a giant pancake. Now with my okonomiyaki, I'm using totally different ingredients. You can use whatever you want. I'm not sure there's a way to make okonomiyaki vegan. You'd have to skip the egg. So I'm not too sure on that. But making a vegetarian okonomiyaki is very, very easy. And definitely will fill you up for the price. Like I said, once you have the initial ingredients, it's very cheap. You could have okonomiyaki for an entire week for just one thing of cabbage. But you don't want to eat okonomiyaki every day. This is enough for at least 2 people. I'll definitely finish this myself. But I'll check back in a little bit, and then hopefully I can show you how I flip it. Okay, it's flipping time. Okay, now this is probably the hardest part, cooking okonomiyaki. So we're going to want to have our plate ready. This is what we're going to have to use. Make sure your pan has a good handle. And you're just going to want to slide it onto the pan. Whoop! A little bit of grease on it. So you want to slide it onto the pan. And you're going to want to, a little bit of grease. You're going to flip this onto your pan, like so. So I flipped it onto the pan, and now we're going to cook the other side, and soon we will have our finished okonomiyaki. So, flip. The meat is cooked. It's not going to move. It's in there. Depends on how long you cook it and what ingredients you use. But we are almost finished. Okay, so after it's done cooking, I spread the sauce on evenly with like a fork. I'll spread around circles. Then I'll put however much mayonnaise I want. Oops. For my okonomiyaki, did a pretty good job. And then I will just top it off with these bonito flakes. And with my bonito flakes put on the top, we have a finished okonomiyaki that is cheaper than ordering at the store, and plus we can make it the entire week if we feel like it, or any other time after. But this is how you can make cheap okonomiyaki. Use your own recipe. Recommend either lettuce, cabbage, or depending on what you're looking for. But you will need something with texture at least to make the pancake. And then just keeping it about 150 to 200 grams. Because you keep going over that, it's just going to keep getting bigger, and there's going to be way too much for one person. But it will be good for two people. So thank you.